We'll give it a couple minutes for people to flow in.
Yeah. 0 attendees. Oh no.
Hello.
Right. Here we go. We're getting some folks coming in now.
We
Hello,
got
everyone.
Suzanne. Hello.
Jay.
Deanna. Jay. Welcome.
All right. Yeah. People are coming in.
We are going to, you guys are all here for a gymnastics seminar, right? Just kidding. No, I would, when you're coming in, please share in the chat, which is at the bottom, what you're looking forward to most with this presentation. We'd love to hear. And if you want to put where you're from, that's fine. No grid coordinates, just where you're from.
I always love knowing where people are coming in from.
Yeah, it is nice. Hey, Nabi.
How you heard about this? I'd also love to know how you guys heard about this.
Yeah. What's up, Bo? Nice to see you on here.
Good crew coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nabi.
I know where you live, Nabi.
Uh-oh, that's a little scary.
No, I don't like no specifics.
No, just kidding.
And I know where Bo lives, relatively.
All right, Jay, coming in from Camp Lejeune.
Welcome.
Spent some time down there.
Yeah, the Courthouse Bay. That's where I spent some time. Topsail Island.
Seal Beach, California. Beach. Yeah. HRVP suggested this to us. That's good. Right on.
Nice. Well, I love Seal Beach. I actually spent some time in Long Beach, which is where I met my husband, and Seal Beach was not too far away. So good stuff.
Hey, Erica coming in from Canada.
Nice. There's always someone from another country. That's great. Welcome.
Daniel from Montana, traveling from Colorado. Daniel, we're in Colorado. That's where I'm in Colorado Springs. All right. Boulder. All right.
Nice. All right. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll get this party started. And if anyone wants to share what they're looking forward to most, definitely do. Maybe you want to learn about mindfulness, this whole thing, mindfulness. Maybe you want to learn a little bit better movement tactics. Maybe you want to learn how to do a handstand. I don't know. I'm insecure.
All right. Another Colorado.
Yeah,
fan.
Colorado in the house.
And Teresa's recently moved to Colorado.
Yeah. Can anyone guess where I live right now? Like what part of Colorado? Guess? No, not you, John. Florida. All right.
New Jersey. All right. Miami. Oh, a couple of Florida folks.
Good stuff. All right. Well, let's get this party started. What do you think, John?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just see Erica's comment. I coach a girls rep volleyball team. COVID has impacted the kids so much, trying to share ideas to help them gain back off. Fantastic. This, I believe this will help with that.
Yeah. So, awesome.
Thanks for joining us, Erica.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So welcome to the Mindfulness and Movement seminar. So we will go into introductions in a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and share screen here. I know people are going to pop on when they can, so just give me a second. There we go. Can everyone see my screen? John?
It's yep, I can see it now. It was just saying that you had started to share screen, but now I see it.
You see it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, everyone. So this is, hope you all are ready. If you want to raise your hand, go ahead. I love those emojis that pop up in the, well, I don't know if actually, yeah, you can do raise the hands in webinars. I thought it was just meetings, but you can do, I think you can do emojis with webinars too. Feel free to do all the emojis with this. Make sure that you laugh at the jokes. If you raise your hand, we will do our best to answer the question right away and or wait till the end. Just to set some expectations with you all, I want to make sure we're going to spend an hour together. Okay. We're going to honor your time. So this is going to be done right at, well, I'm 9 Mountain Time. We're done at 10 Mountain Time. But we want you to get a lot of information of what's possible in your life here And John and I both love this work. We love working together. We have a great team, and we're really, really honored to have you here with us today. So again, I know there'll be questions that pop up and things that pop up. So make sure to put them in the chat, and when John and I can, we'll get to them. All right. So today, something to expect. We're going to explain the why around Movement RX. Right. This is the kind of this whole experience that we're going to be talking about today. And these mindfulness and movement habits are powered by Movement RX. We actually a partner with Men Talking Mindfulness, which John is the co-host of, with another individual named Will Schneider, who is not on today. But if you all choose to end up working with us, you will get to experience Will a lot, an amazing individual. You're going to learn about mind-body connection today. Oftentimes, there's a separation when we talk about it. I mean, it's mental health awareness. It was Mental Health Awareness Day. I believe it's Mental Health Awareness Week. But mental health comes with physical health. They go together. The mind and body work together. And there's a lot of powerful things that you can do with your body to help your mental health. And then we'll kind of explain the roadmap of what you can do from here, either on your own or with us as a tribe, right? So there's no shame in doing things on your own or with the tribe you've already built yourself. We're going to share with you what we've built and what's possible with what we built for you. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to John, the Navy SEAL, to stress you out. Go ahead, John.
All right. So welcome, everyone. Great to see everyone in the chat, in the comments. And if you do make a comment, make sure it's going to panelists and attendees so everyone can see. I saw Hilda's comment there saying it would be nice to see everyone's responses in the chat. Hopefully you're going to get to see those. But that said, what I want you to do is just Daniel saying, a SEAL, I'm out. Don't worry, I'm not going to stress you out too much. But what I want you to do is imagine this morning, before you got out of bed, you're all nice and cozy underneath the covers. You got your pillow up against your face. And before your alarm clock goes off, you hear a notification on your phone because you're sleeping with your phone beside your bed. That notification is a notification from your boss telling you that you have a new timeline, a new deadline at work, a new deadline that you're most likely not going to meet unless you get out of bed right now. So you jump out of bed way before your alarm clock is supposed to go. You go grab a quick cup of coffee. It's super hot. You get in your car. You start driving to work. You get into traffic. You slam on your brakes. You spill your coffee all over you. You're in traffic for the next hour. You get to work late, even though you woke up early. Your boss starts yelling at you. You know now that you're not going to meet that deadline. Meanwhile, you're getting texts from your family, texts telling you that you have a softball game tonight for your kids. You have to prepare dinner for your kids. You totally forgot that you had friends coming over for dinner, and you have a science project due tomorrow for your kids in a project or in a subject that you haven't studied in years, perhaps even decades. And your phone is dying and you have no charger and this seemed familiar, I'm sure. But what I want you to do is throw in the chat what you're feeling right now in your body, what sensations you're actually experiencing as I went through that scenario. If that scenario doesn't apply to you, just think about something that has been stressing you out, something that has been in your life bringing anxiety, and think about how your body feels. So I see tense. Yeah, definitely. Frozen. Yes. So there's things that happen in your body when you get stressed out. That's a natural stress reaction. Your heart rate increases. Not be saying, where's the whiskey? That's often, a stress release there is that we reach for something exterior from out there to help with that. But we have inside us what can control and help with those stress reactions. Those stress reactions are defense mechanisms. It's to defend us from threats that are out there that we perceive as threats. That's email notifications, text messages, social media, traffic, bosses. All that is perceived as threats, truly. So our body tries to defend us from it. And like Nabi posted in the comments there, sometimes we reach for something external to calm us down, but we can control that internally. And now what I want you to do is let's calm down from that. So just think about that same scenario, notice the body's reaction, and now just simply take a few deep breaths. And I know that sounds silly. You're like, okay, what are just a few deep breaths going to do for me? But just take a few deep breaths. If you're in a place that it's safe to do so, close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, and focus on the physical sensation of breathing. Bring your entire focus intentionally to nothing else but the physical sensation of breathing, and notice the air passing in through your nose as you breathe in, ideally through your nose, and then out through your mouth as you breathe out. Nice and slow, slow for that exhalation. Another breath in, notice your lungs expanding, notice that physical sensation, your belly and your chest expanding as you breathe in, and the reverse as you breathe out, belly and chest contracting, lungs contracting, diaphragm moving. Let's do one more together. Deep breath in through the nose. And nice and slow exhalation through the mouth. Slow. All right. Now, when you're ready, go ahead and blink your eyes open and come back to the here and now. Bring your focus into the conversation. And now think about how your body reacted, how it responded. Did those reactions that you noticed before during that stress out situation, did they change? Did your heart rate decrease? Go ahead and throw that in the chat if you noticed a change. Did maybe the stress level in your life, did it go down? Maybe if your hands were sweating, did that stop? Maybe your respiratory rate decreased. Obviously, it decreased because we're doing controlled breathing. But yes, 100% decrease. Yes, lighter, more relaxed. Perfect. So that is you taking control of your body, taking it from a reaction to a response. You taking the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, flight, or freeze nervous system, and switching over to the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest. You're calming yourself down through that rest and digest, that parasympathetic nervous system, by tapping into that. And that is how we take it from reacting to responding. And that's one of the things that we want to get to today. All right. So great to see that you guys are experiencing changes just right in that, 1 minute breath work that we did. And let's go back over to you, T.
All right. So a little bit of background about us. So John and I actually met now that you've gotten stressed out and feel a little bit calmer, that's a good thing. But I want to go into just a little bit about us now. So because we're working together, and you may be wondering how do your two professions come together? So I am a doctor of physical therapy, and I know we have one on here. We got Bo Babinski, who's also a PT on here. PT's in the house. Anyway, I love being a PT, and what I love most about it is that I get to help people with the low-hanging fruit of medicine, which is movement. We go from point A to point B, and so my job is to help you do it more efficiently and be more aware of your movement. Whether you want to go out and lift a bunch of weights, or work out on your Peloton, or just enjoy playing with your kids, or sitting on the toilet, I'll help you with all of that, and help you heal from the chronic conditions that a lot of us have. I'm a mother too of two little boys. I've got a 15-month-old named Axel, and then a 4-year-old named Magnus. Yes, they could be like a Scandinavian rock band. And my amazing husband, Per. We live now in Durango, Colorado. If you've ever heard of it, it's on the west side of the Rockies, the cool side of the Rockies, in the Highlands. Had to do a little dig there. But we love it here. It's been a dream to move to Colorado, actually. We just moved from San Diego. Well, we loved San Diego. We've been there for a while. We have a great community there still. I was in the Marine Corps. Actually, that was my previous job. I was a Marine Corps engineer, and got out, didn't know what to do with my life, played beach volleyball, coached a little fast pitch softball. I was a professional fast pitcher for a period of time, and was like, well, I can't really make a decent income at this, and I want to be able to do more. I want to know more. And so PT school was it. And here I am presenting ways to help yourself right now at home, which is actually really, really important for me in my life. I know John in his life. Being able to meet people where they're at is really, really important, because life is very chaotic, and we've got kids, we've got work. Some of us don't have kids. That's fine. Just we've got a lot going on. So how do you keep yourself healthy in these different chapters of your life? So that's what we're here for. John, I'll let you talk a little bit about your story.
Sure. Yeah, I'll keep it short. So John Mccaskill, I'm retired Navy SEAL. I retired last year, living in Colorado Springs on the cool side of the Rockies. I am at 7,500 feet, so I'm at the highlands. It's just another dig back at you. And let's see, married with 2 or 3 kids now. 3 kids. I got so used to saying 2. I've got a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-month-old at home, and I teach mindfulness and meditation, and I work with Teresa with the Movement RX and the Mindfulness and Movement experience that we put together. And then also I run a podcast with my buddy Will Schneider, who's also part of this. He teaches the yoga and the mindfulness and movement experience. And I see Jay's comment here. Jay, we actually had James Nestor on our podcast, and I'm a full believer in nasal breathing, so much so that I do what James Nestor recommends. I sleep with tape on my mouth. But in meditation, there's different ways you can do that. Mindfulness or breath work, you can do it through your nose as you breathe in and then out through your mouth. The big part is trying your best, if you're able, to breathe in through your nose. That's the big change. And we do some alternate nasal or nostril breathing through the exercise, through the experience, through the mindful moments that we'll talk about later. But yes, anyhow, I am super excited to be a part of this mindfulness and movement experience. And thank you all for joining us. But yes, that's me in a nutshell. Back over to you, T.
So with that, John, we're not going to be teaching about sleep because we both have younger children where we actually don't sleep much. We actually do touch upon improving sleep, but just know that when we do our tribe, it's funny, when we do our check-ins, John and I will usually go back and forth about the sleep shenanigans that can happen with little ones, which some of you probably can relate to. Anyway, so we are very excited to be working together. We actually met on LinkedIn a couple years ago now, and it was one of those situations where I knew we had to work together to some degree. Mindfulness has been a big part of my personal journey. For those of you that don't know, I actually, in the Marine Corps, I ended up getting out. I had an eating disorder. I got out after 4 years, but I struggled with my own silent addiction, which I know John just did a podcast on addiction. What was the name of your host or the guest, John?
Yeah, Dr. Rob Kelly. He's an addiction and recovery expert.
So addiction is pretty common, and it's actually been growing. Alcohol and eating disorders have been growing this last year because of the pandemic, and just the isolation fact. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but mindfulness, I've done a lot of therapy in my day, and mindfulness, I actually ended up working because of a friend of mine who's in the Marines, a sister of mine, introduced me to a brain researcher who happened to be a biofeedback mindfulness meditation coach in San Diego. And he reminded me of Abe Lincoln, just like the way he looked, but he just a very powerful human in what he's done with his life, but also taught me so many great skills. And while I don't personally teach mindfulness and meditation, I practice it. And I felt like running a physical therapy human performance company, I was missing, and I even have taught for CrossFit. I traveled the globe teaching movement and mobility for CrossFit, but there was always a missing link in what I was teaching. And mindfulness and that emotional intelligence improvement was that. And so bringing John on has been very important. And he's like a brother, so even better. So a little bit, this is our team. Unfortunately, John isn't in this picture because he wasn't in San Diego at the time, but right before we left, of course, we had to hang out in Coronado and watch the seals in the horizon getting thrashed, and our team enjoying some nice spaghetti on the beach. But this is my husband front and center. I've got my kids there covered in sand. We have a lot of fun together. There's some veterans here, some are not. But we have a great team of fitness professionals, PTs, a nutritionist on staff, a mindfulness meditation expert, one of the top 10 yoga instructors in New York City, Will. So it's been really, really wonderful to grow this team over time. And what I want to share with you now is our why behind Movement RX and kind of what has attracted people to our company. But it's not really the company, it's the people that makes the company. Everyone's been attracted to this why, which is giving people the knowledge and tools to live a lifetime of physical and emotional freedom. So no matter what you look like, how you roll, walk, limp, move into a facility or move around in life, whatever color of skin you are, we want to give you whatever socioeconomic status, we want to give you the knowledge and tools to live a lifetime of physical and emotional freedom. We know that, in third world countries, there's not as much resources available. We know that here in our country, there's political unrest. There's issues with people agreeing with vaccinations, with not wanting to get vaccinated, wanting to get vaccinated. However, those are all external things. Like what we can do is internal. How can we keep ourselves healthy so the reactions that we have are more proactive and loving and kind? And so that's our why with Movement RX. And this person here with the chains, right? We think about, we actually, thankfully, all of us live in a free country and we have freedom of speech, yet a lot of us aren't free emotionally and physically. Like we feel confined by the pain that we have. We feel confined by the addictions or the emotional triggers that we have or the relationships that we're in. And so the point here with us is to help you learn habits to free yourself from that, from the pain, lessen the pain, improve the function, right? Lessen the emotional triggers and improve the way you react to life. And so the first thing that I want to go over with you all is that in order to get, and you can put in the comments, maybe if you want to share just with John and I or the group, like what your goals are on an emotional and physical level. Is there something physically that's painful for you? Is there something emotionally triggering, right? Share if you like. But in order to get to where you want to go health-wise, you got to know where you're at right now. And I love to use the land nav analogy. I became very good at land nav because I did a lot of remedial land nav, but I was, that's for the veterans in here, they probably laugh, or if you're like an adventure racer of some sort, there's a lot of land nav involved with that. But yeah, I always am a big fan of like not using tech to look and know where I'm going, use terrain association, right? But so I've had to learn how to know where my grid coordinates are, figure out where I am, and then that helps me understand where I need to go. And so from a map perspective, that's what our goal is with an assessment. Everyone that we work with on our platform, there's an assessment that we do. It involves looking at you from head to toe, your neck, the way you balance, the way you get on and off the ground, all that good stuff. And it's pretty powerful. So for example, if everyone just stands up right now and puts your feet together real quick and then bends over and touches your toes, right, with your legs straight, can you do that? Yes or no, right? Do your knees bend or not? Can you touch the ground with your legs straight? Can you palm the ground with your legs straight, right? So that's just one example of the 11 tests that we do physically. And then there's the emotional time and energy and pain. But like, if you cannot touch your toes, there's a restriction there, right? And that's a predictor of potential future injury, but a predictor of discomfort that you may have in your body. And then if you can palm the ground, right, that's an indicator of too much mobility, too much flexibility, which means unless you're a ballerina or Cirque du Soleil, right, we want to have just enough. It's almost like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We don't want it to be too much, too little. We want it to be just right. Just be able to touch your toes every morning and every night and every day without bending your knees is really important for the health of your posterior chain. So it's just one example of one of the assessments we do. Now, this was a quote from a lady, actually a veteran that went through our recent experience. She said, and this was based on the assessment, because a lot of people, when they take it, it takes about 15 minutes to do. And it's, it's a fairly simple assessment to go through, but it looks at a lot of things. And she did the post assessment and she said, I'm blown away. After completing the final assessment, I was shocked to see such a change. I wasn't sure what to expect when this journey began. I started to notice the decrease in pain and I found it to be an odd sensation. I've lived with low back pain and nerve pain for years. Parts of me don't know how to live without it, but the bulk of me is over the moon to feel even a smidge better. Now, does anyone relate to that? Or does anyone have someone in their life that could relate to that? Just feeling a smidge better would make the quality of their life better. So we weren't expecting this response from her. And this was actually sent this to me 2 days ago. But that's the impact of the assessment. It shows you right? Even if you feel like, my life is so chaotic, I don't know what's happening. You, from beginning to end, if you do consistent, a minimum of 4 to 10 minutes a day for 4 days, actually it's 10 minutes a day for 4 days. Actually, that's what the research shows. You will see a change. 10 minutes a day for 4 days. Who has that kind of time? We all do, because most likely you probably spend a lot of time in the bathroom. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, so we got the assessment. That's really important to know where you're going, right? We always start people there. But cultivating, so here's the key, is cultivating mind and body presence actually leads to a more empowered life. And that's the truth, right? Mind and body presence, the ability to be more aware of how you move, how often you move, how aware you are of what's going on in your mind, how it actually exemplifies how you are in the world too, to people. The more aware you are of your own self, the more you're aware of other people in front of you. And so you can actually like read what people aren't saying. You can be more empathetic, more compassionate. And those are the things that I've experienced personally from this work. So what I want to go into is just a brief idea of where we focus our efforts, right? Because when you think of health and wellness, there's a lot to focus on. And we've created this pyramid of physical and emotional freedom. And a lot of times when people jump into habit, when people jump into a new routine, it's like they go to number 4 immediately. I've got to David Goggins said I have to train 3 hours a day and stretch 3 hours a day. Awesome, dude, right? But that's not for everyone, right? But training 3 hours a day or meditating 1 hour every single day may not be a realistic expectation for you, right? So the important thing is, when you're coming in with these chronic conditions, emotionally and physically, we got to start somewhere. And that's number 1, creating this level of awareness and downregulation in our nervous system. When our nervous system is heightened, we have more increased chance of pain or dysfunction, right? We have more tension triggers, emotional triggers. We got to start with number 1. And then it improves breath. We improve breath biomechanics here. We improve tissue mobility, flexibility. We improve movement patterns. So we slow you down quite a bit, which is where the focus of our program is. And I know we have a coach on here, a couple of them, right? That's where you often want to start the athletes. Slow them down to speed them up. Teach them proper movement patterns. Teach them how to handle stress, physically and emotionally, before you jump to just number 4. And so now I'm going to kick it over to John to explain this whole, what is mindfulness? Because he's going to go over mindfulness. I'm going to go over movement. How are they connected? Go ahead, John.
Yeah, right. Well, you hear a lot about mindfulness and meditation these days in the news, in media, social media, everywhere. You're hearing a lot about it. And it's being used wrong a lot of the time, honestly. Mindfulness and meditation, they're not necessarily the same thing. There's a lot of intertwining between the two, but they're not the same. If you can imagine mindfulness in one circle of a Venn diagram and meditation in another, and then they overlap a little bit. Mindfulness is simply a way of living. It is being present in the here and now, paying attention to what is happening right here, right now, physically and emotionally, tuning out as much as possible what has happened in the past and what will happen in the future, thinking about and experiencing the present moment right here, right now. Meditation, on the other hand, is formally setting aside some time to meditate. And that is being quiet with your thoughts, maybe focusing on a mantra, focusing on your breath, focusing on a body scan, focusing on compassion, loving kindness, whatever the case may be. But there are differences between mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is a way of life. Meditation is an act, is a practice. So we'll be doing both of those in the mindfulness and movement experience. But where mindfulness and movement, what they do for us in the brain physiologically, what they do for us that is the same, they take us from using the amygdala, coming back to that sympathetic nervous system that I referenced before. They take us from using the amygdala more often, which is that fight, flight, or freeze mechanism, and shift us to using that prefrontal cortex, which is the cognitive part of our brain, which helps us with cognitive thought. So again, that takes us from reacting more often to responding. And both mindfulness and meditation do that. It actually helps to physiologically rewire the brain. You can actually see that happening on MRIs and see that change. And a place that you can see as far as in our life where that happens very quickly, our shift from being all over the place to being focused, is shifting from this myth of multitasking. If you switch the slide there, yeah. So we pride ourselves on being great multitaskers in this day and age. Answering emails, answering phone calls, answering texts, jumping in the car and driving while texting, or driving while checking social media, or whatever the case may be. We pride ourselves on that. As a matter of fact, some people put great multitasker on their resume, and it's been proven that people who think they are great multitaskers are normally the worst multitaskers. Multitasking, it is possible when you're doing multiple things, but to focus on multiple things is impossible. And when you think that you're focusing on multiple things, more often than not, you're doing one thing poorly. You're making a mistake. You're doing it less productively as you could have. As a matter of fact, corporate America spends somewhere between $350 and $450 million annually just on fixing mistakes made by people who are trying to multitask, or by loss in productivity because of multitasking. So what we want you to do is get down to focusing. And mindfulness and meditation does that. We've got all those distractions in life, like I mentioned before, the emails, the social media, the kids, the bosses, the driving, work, stock market, bills, whatever the case is. This guy right here, that's how a lot of us feel every day. We've got so many things going on. And what we want you to do by practicing mindfulness, or living mindfully rather, and practicing meditation, is it gets you down to one sense at a time. And what we primarily focus on in the meditations is the tactile sense. So what is it that you're feeling in your hands, your fingers? You're actually noticing the air passing your nostrils, as we did at the beginning. You're focusing on that tactile sense. And what that does truly get your mind more focused. And that's not just in that moment, but then throughout the day, you're more focused, you're more productive, you're more creative. You're actually going to experience a change in the way that you experience time. You're going to get time back, and we'll talk about that here shortly. But it also truly changes the hormones that your body releases. As you meditate and as you live mindfully, you actually release oxytocin, which is the love hormone. You release dopamine, which is that one that you get when you get something done on your checklist. You kind of check it off. That's the dopamine. And you get serotonin, which is the happiness hormone. So that's where you are when you do meditation and mindfulness and living mindfully. And again, we'll be doing some of that in the mindfulness experience, but that is the difference between mindfulness and meditation, where they overlap and what they both have in common as far as what they do for you. So whether you do the experience or not, we encourage you to practice meditation and live mindfully. Back over to you, T. Teresa, you still here?
I had to find the unmute.
All right.
Yep. I was taking a minute there.
There you go. Focus. You were just meditating, right?
I was so focused on my tactile sensation of my feet right now.
There you go.
Standing. Okay. So now we want to talk about movement. So there's me doing a little bit of balancing, me doing a little thoracic rotation. So the how we tie in movement to mindfulness is that base layer, right? Number one, where we improve awareness of how we are in the world, awareness of what's going on neck up as well as neck down, in the form of like tension, right? Or even heartbeat, like how fast is our heartbeat, our heart rate variability, our respiratory rate. Now, when we add this layer of mindfulness and now we introduce movement, people oftentimes become more aware of the movements that bother them the most, or what the ones that they struggle with the most, right? Sometimes when we're in group classes and whatnot, it's hard to pay attention to it because there's this group think and you're with your friends and you're going fast and you're doing the RX, the prescribed workout or whatever it is. But being able to pay attention, turn down the music, be aware of how your feet hit the ground, how much balance you have. I mean, here's just a little statistic, right? We spend, ideally we want to be walking 10,000 steps a day. On average, I think people do around 4,000. But if you think about it, every step you take, you're in a single leg balance. So how are you at balancing on each side? And we actually look at, so from my perspective, we want to help you identify where your major asymmetries are, where your major imbalances are, and actually bring forward these chronic injuries that you may have, chronic conditions, and not say shame on you for not doing anything about it, but helping you move forward with it. There's so much power so much you can do on your own to help yourselves heal without waiting for someone to tell you what to do or give you medication. Not condoning medication, but there's so much that you can do that you probably don't realize in terms of movement. And that's what we work to keep, come alive with this work, is raising your level of awareness, neck up, neck down. And then by the way, now improving these movement patterns in your neck, in your mid back, in your low back, in your hips, which don't lie. Shakira was right. In your knees. I always have to throw that out there. In your feet. So what I want to do right now is actually just test your balance real quick, one side to the other. And then we're going to do a nice juicy thoracic rotation technique that you can do, with your athletes, with yourself. It's a great way to do a movement break. And by the way, I am actually in a VRBO. My current location is Durango, Colorado. I'm in a VRBO in my bedroom. So I get to teach you from my bedroom today. This is so exciting. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is test our balance. It's going to be like Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. Okay. So everybody lift up. I want you to have your shoes off, be in bare feet or your socks, not super thick socks. Lift your right leg up to 90 degrees, arms out just like so, and then go ahead and give yourself a big hug. Okay. And I just want you to stand there for a second and pay attention to your foot. Like, is your foot working really hard? Keep your knee not locked out, but also not really bent, just slightly bent. Okay. So just pay attention. Okay. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and close your eyes, right? What happens when you close your eyes, right? You start to move around quite a bit. Okay. Open your eyes and do the other side. So keep your eyes open. Kung Fu Panda. Yep. Arms across. Keep your eyes open and just feel what's happening in your foot, your knee, your hip. How does it feel? Good. And then close your eyes. And what is happening to you as you do this? And then open so you don't fall on a sharp object. Okay. So now here's the thing. Balance is actually really important, regardless of what age you are. Okay, so the balance when we look at balance, there's an integration that happens between the vision, your inner ear, and your feet, well, proprioception in your feet, knees, hips, spine. So when you close your eyes, you take your vision away. Now your inner ear and your feet, all those little proprioceptors and those joints have to work harder. And if you don't, it's like going to the gym and working on your biceps are cool, but you got to also work on that balance too. So those are just one of the examples of the things we look at. So you can do this with the people that you serve. You can do this on your own, right? The best way to treat balance is literally practice balancing. Yeah, brush those teeth, do those dishes, do a little dance, right? Whatever you want to do, but just open your eyes, close your eyes, practice your balance. Now let's do a juicy thoracic rotation. John, I know you need this before you travel to help me move this weekend. Okay, by the way, everyone, John is helping me move this weekend with his family. Feet straight forward, okay? Shove your hips back like you're shutting the door with your butt. Yeah, that's right. And now take one hand on the inside of your knee, okay? Press it on the inside of the knee. So I'm taking my right hand, pressing it on the inside of the knee, and I'm taking my other hand and I'm rotating up towards the sky. Hello, sky, and coming down. Let's go ahead and do 5 reps each side, breathing out as we rotate, breathing in as we come back, pressing the shoulder, my hand, into my knee so I can have a nice clean rotation. Let's do 5 reps, really stretch and rotate that chest, hips back to protect the spine. After 5, do the other side. Pay attention to what side feels stiffer. Breathe in, breathe out. If you get dizzy at all, keep your eyes fixed on a non-moving object. Breathe in, breathe out. After 5 reps, go ahead and stand, sit, whatever you want to do. But that's just a little example of a quick movement break that you can do on your own. It's great for that mid back that will actually protect the lower back and the neck, right? Easy day, as long as you're consistent. You can learn the coolest of techniques, but if you're not consistent with it, it's not going to work. All right. So now getting down to focus. oftentimes with people, and the health professionals in here might relate to this, you might everyone in here might relate to this. What you experience in your body, how you think you're moving, you may think you're moving well, but you actually may not be moving well. You may think you're not moving well, but you actually are moving well. Oftentimes our perception and our reality are not exactly in line, especially when it comes to movement. I mean, I've been an athlete my entire life, and I work sometimes with athletes still, work with veterans, and you'd be surprised how many people, the universal language of movement is just, a lot of times people don't know how to move their bodies, how to move them well to protect their joints. And so it actually needs to be more part of our physical education for kids in schools. Like, it's very important how you sit, how you stand, the positions you hold all day long really do impact your body, your mobility, your pain, your dysfunction. And so my job is to unravel that and teach you how to match your perception with the reality. So you become almost like your own little practitioner for yourself, which I love to do. So the next thing, and I'm going to kick it over to John here in just a sec, is now that you kind of have a little idea of, okay, this mindfulness thing is really important for my neck up and neck down. It's not separate. This movement thing, yeah, there's a lot of things I could work on. And it doesn't have to take you a ton of time every day. It doesn't have to be this workout. It literally just needs to be infused into your life. So it becomes a lifestyle. But the roadmap to get there, right? The roadmap to build this habit. Maybe some of you out there are already doers. You're already getting after it. Good to go, right? There's a roadmap for those of you who maybe feel like your behaviors aren't matching your intentions. So we have a roadmap to help you build this physical and emotional freedom habit. And it is the mindfulness and movement experience. All right. It is the experience that John and I built, and we are very proud of it. We're very thankful we built it. We built it not only for ourselves, but for those that we care about. And now for the population of people that we love to serve, anyone who's willing to listen, veterans, first responders, leaders, like whoever you are out there, like, if you want to take ownership of your physical and emotional health, then we actually know that our platform, the mindfulness movement experience, works, and it's something that people use. We've now gone through 3 iterations of it and have over 200 testimonials from it, just from the feedback in our private group, from the text messages, the emails. It's been extremely powerful. So very exciting. And what I want to kind of go through with you is just what you get with it. And so here's something to be thoughtful of is, and this is something my dad used to always actually share with me, is this quote by Lao Tzu: watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, they become your destiny. And that's very true. Like, think about regardless of whether you continue forward with us or not, think about your life and what you want in your life. And are you living and being and doing what you want in your life? Are you being who you want to be in the world? Do you have good relationships? Do you have a good relationship with your body? Do you feel like you move well? Do you move well? How is your emotional state on any given day? Right? And if those are things you want to improve upon, even just a smidge, then consider where in this line you need to work on. And most likely it starts with your thoughts. So I'm going to kick it over to John to talk about the domino. And actually, John, do you mind going into kind of the 6 pillars of the experience too?
Yeah, absolutely. So in light of that comment or that quote from Lao Tzu that Teresa just read, this slide depicts what we call the domino theory. And this is in knocking down one domino in your life, like one positive domino. So maybe it is practicing meditation or living mindfully. Maybe that's your first domino. And by knocking over that first domino, then you sleep better. Because you're sleeping better, maybe you're going to make better decisions. Because you're making better decisions, you're going to eat better. Because you're eating better, you're going to have more energy. Because you have more energy, you're going to be more productive, more focused at work. You're going to maybe get to the gym and use just this upward positive spiral that we could potentially get you on by introducing you to mindfulness and movement. And the reason we do both is, as Teresa mentioned at the beginning, that mind and body connection, that mind, body, spirit connection. There is that. And if you improve one, you improve the other. And if you work on both, you will improve both. So what you get in the 6 pillars, you get this workshop, which is this is the first pillar of the experience. Then you get the self-assessments that Dr. T and Movement RX will be sending out. That is an assessment of your balance, your assessment of your movement, your mobility, your assessment of your energy level. You get those. You take those at the beginning of the experience, and you take them at the end to see how you've improved. And we have seen dramatic improvements in people, both in their energy levels, their anxiety levels, and their ability to move better. You get the daily mindfulness experience or mindfulness meditation that we'll be giving. That's recommended, and it's pre-recorded. That's all stuff that I put out there for the experience. And I don't want to say that it's good, but people have said that it is helpful for them, that daily mindfulness moment. Then you get the daily movement RX, which is focusing on some type of movement to improve your mobility, your flexibility. You get Dr. T times. That's with Teresa. That's once a week, that will address a specific part of your body. And then you get the accountability, which is a huge piece. If you care to be a part of the social media network, we have a Facebook group that you will become a part of, and that we put information out on, and we support one another. And that is what we've heard, one of the greatest parts about it. And then on top of that Facebook group, you get a weekly check-in with us, with myself and Teresa, but we don't lead it. We're just a part of it. And that's the entire tribe from this experience, from this particular cohort, and from folks who stayed on from the last cohorts, and they're part of it. And then you get bonus awards, raffles, some Be Awesome swag. I don't know if you can see this shirt, but it is a periodic table used to spell Be Awesome. And that's part of the swag that you get, and raffles, awards throughout the experience, and at the end for the most improved, the one who participates the most, et cetera. So there's about a $3,500 value in the time that you get from the coaches, myself, Teresa, the rest of the team, the yoga that you get with Will, the mindful running that you get with the Movement RX team, the mindful nutrition that you get with the Movement RX team. There's a lot of value in this. So we hope that you'll sign up. But that said, let's go on real quick to the perception slide. Yeah. So as Teresa mentioned before, you may be lifting and you think that you're lifting well, but you're really not, or vice versa. We want to help to change your perception so that it more closely matches reality, not just in lifting, but in your life. That you may think that you're not using your phone a whole lot, but then when you take a look back and you're more mindful throughout your day, you may realize that you're on your phone a lot more. You may realize that you're watching TV a lot more. So we want you to be more perceptive, and we want to bring that perception more in line with reality. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is your habits. The reason this is a 21-day mindfulness experience is that it takes approximately 21 days to start to develop a habit. The reason I said start to develop a habit is that it's been shown to take about 66 days to actually make that habit automatic. But we want to get you started. So that 21-day mindfulness and movement experience is a start. It's a start for you to start improving your life, your mind, your body. People say, hey, I don't have time for this. Well, I can tell you that a lot of the time, going back to that perception, a lot of the time we perceive ourselves to be busier than we actually are. We spend a lot of time uselessly on social media, scrolling our feeds. We spend a lot of time binging Netflix. We spend a lot of time just sitting around. If we just take 5, 10, 15 minutes a day for our own personal wellness, we actually end up creating time. So if we take a little bit of time, we may end up getting some time back. So what normally takes you 8 hours to do at work or 8 hours to do in your life, you may be able to get that done in 7 hours or 6 hours. You're actually going to get a return on your investment by taking some time for your own personal wellness. So we encourage you to take time to make time. All right. So last thing is, what are we doing here? So again, this is the call to action. We have a path that you could take, the path that, hey, if it's been working for you, we encourage you to stay on it. But if you're looking for a way to change to improve your overall wellness. That's mental wellness, that's physical wellness, that's spiritual wellness. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean religious, but your spiritual wellness. We encourage you to take this journey with us to decrease your pain, to decrease your stress and anxiety, to improve your productivity, to improve your sense of fulfillment. You get Dr. T time. That's 4 hours with Dr. T. You get 4 check-ins. That's 4 one-hour check-ins with me and Dr. T and potentially Will Schneider, our yoga instructor. You get 1 hour with a nutritionist. You get 1 hour with a running and strength-focused physical therapist. You get 4 hours of fitness instruction, 4 hours of yoga, 21 meditations. So again, that's a value of $2,500 plus a potential $1,000 worth of prizes that you can get in being part of this experience. And you get all this for $197, or you can pay it forward and get it for someone else, a family member, a friend, a veteran, and you can get that for $97. So $197 for yourself, and then $97 for someone else. All right. Oh, my mouth is getting dry because I've been running my mouth for a while. Teresa, you want to talk about the partners?
Yeah. So thankfully through this work, it's just happened this way over the course of time is we've developed some really strong partnerships. One official partnership is with the Men Talking Mindfulness. So we run a raffle in the 21 days where you get to win some Men Talking Mindfulness swag. And then other partners who are doing impactful things in the world are TRX. It's actually a better-known company. We've been closely working with them in our adaptive work, actually, and they are supporting our mindfulness and movement experience with some prizes for people who join. The other one is Myopax, which is run, powered by Resiliency Project. Troy Willis and Kelly Starrett started that, and they donate a device to the most objective change winner. We partnered with Ranco. You'll see the Focus Calm device there. It's a neurofeedback device. We partnered with them. They love giving the most committed participant a Focus Calm of their own with a free membership to their app. And by the way, we are full support of whatever app you're doing, whatever program you're doing, whatever workout, great. But most likely you're going to still need some support, accountability, and that deeper layer of mindfulness and movement support that you may not get from just a workout coach on Peloton or on P90X or on YouTube, right? There's these layers of let's stop going just straight to number 4. Yeah, you can continue number 4, but let's actually address number 1 too on that emotional and physical pyramid that we talked about. And then everyone that signs up gets a Be Awesome shirt, which with the spine on the back, because we got your back and you are not spineless. A little bit about the schedule. And John, if you want to pop the schedule link in the comments. This is just an example of the schedule for week 1. Just know that everything that's live on here is also recorded. Everything's on demand on our program. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't make the kickoff, or I can't make, the live check-ins or the Dr. T time, you can always go back and watch it and watch the routine. It's all there and all available to you in our library. So just know that's actually 3/4 of the people do it do the recording, watch the recording or on demand versus the live check-ins. So all good there. And then let's see, we want to go back. So this is a quote from one of our alumni. And I love this quote just because it also speaks to me. And I know it speaks to probably everyone out here who works on a computer. He said, and he's actually works in the defense contracting space. I was finally able to close the laptop between my ears and improve my ability to train for my Ironmans because my low back no longer bothered me. So there's 2 things there. He was able to close what's going on up here and actually be more present. So he shared with us, with his wife, his kids. And he, as an Ironman athlete, he always thought that pain was just part of it. Like, all right, well, pain is just what I live with. No, pain is not normal. It's common, but it's not normal. So, and now he is feeling good when he trains, which is all part of it, right? Like feeling good when you're moving around. So that's been really powerful. And here's just our website, right? If you want to email us, if you have any questions, There is a way, if you want to use your HSA or FSA to pay for this, the 197, you would just have to email us, Get Better. There's a different pay process for that. Health savings account, federal savings account. But you can sign up, John, if you want to pop the link to sign up in the comments.
Done.
It is 197. Of course, we would love for you to be part of our tribe and do this with us. We'd love to support you. We have a lot of fun. The tribe is great. But if you want to reach out to us more and ask questions, feel free. You can find like the best social media channel for both of us that we is LinkedIn. So feel free to look us up there. And does anyone have any questions for us? We'll open up the floor.
I saw a few in the chat, and they were sent directly to us, but I'll answer them for everyone. So
yeah,
what if you're not able to make the lives? So there's plenty of lives, but they are all recorded. So if you're not able to make the live events, you can do them pre-recorded. And as Teresa mentioned, about 3/4 of our attendees in the past cohorts have attended the recorded events and seen those and practiced the movements, practiced the meditations. All the meditations are pre-recorded. So those are there for you to do. You can do those one at a time, one per day, or you can, if you decide, if you're so aggressive, you can do all 21 in one day. But I don't advise that, especially if you've never meditated before. The design of the whole program is for you to do each meditation in a progression, one at a time, one per day. But yes, you can do everything pre-recorded. So thanks for those questions. If there's any other questions, we'd love to see those in the chat. And let's see. Can we talk after I've gone through the program? Yeah, definitely. So again, talking about whether you can go through the program and look at making it part of a larger program for you or your team. Yeah, we'd be happy to talk with you about that afterwards. So absolutely.
Yeah, and to speak to that, we do have, so this webinar, I mean, we have individuals that sign up, but we also have organizations that sign up. So the Navy in San Diego, SWRMEC, we work with them quite a bit, and they've brought men and women onto our platform. We worked with Samsung, we worked with FedEx, we worked with Texas Day Brazil, Salesforce, K-Force, all the force be with you. We a lot of organizations, especially, I'll say this, because I know we do have some HR leaders in here, is it takes the leader buy-in of a company to do this, right? If the leadership really believes in this type of work, the low-hanging fruit of medicine, keeping themselves healthy, then they'll want to give it to their employees, their team members. So if you're part of a company and you would love to see this as part of your EAP program, a lot of EAP programs don't work, and they're just not highly utilized. And we are not that. Like, we don't want to be we're not a traditional EAP program where people don't use it. We want it to be an impact. We're not here to just check a box. We're here to impact people's lives. And so if you are in a company and you would like to provide this for a company, please reach out, email us. Any other questions?
Jinx.
Jinx. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of deep conversations we have. There's a lot of fun that we have too with this group. And I'll just say this, there's some of the most powerful meditations that have come out of the tribe is letting go of your story, how to be at peace with pain, equanimity, right? Because a lot of people are going through, or people around them are going through stuff. And how do you just be with it and know that it's just right now? It takes practice. And I'll also say this from personal experience. There is this excuse of, I don't have time right now, but maybe someday I'll fit into those jeans. Maybe someday I'll actually do something for myself. Well, there is no someday. And that's just kind of coming from the school of hard knocks. There is just no someday, right? The someday is going to happen when you lose your health, or when you hit rock bottom, or when it's just it actually just doesn't exist, right? So doing it right now is actually one of the most important things. Doing something for yourself, whether it's this or something else, you have right now. And there is a lot of power in taking action right now.
Awesome. Well, if there's no further questions, we hope to see you all in the Mindfulness and Movement experience. The links to sign up are in the chat. You also receive them on the poster for the sign up for this. So we'd love to see you, and hope that you have a wonderful day. Teresa, you got any last words?
Let me see. We've got a comment here. Some struggling with flexibility and energy. Yep. Okay. Well, anybody who, again, we've had some comments just to us, so I'll keep the names out of it to honor your anonymity. If you're struggling with energy, flexibility, all of it, right? We're not prescribing hours and hours a day. This is simple micro habits that we're helping you create. And there's nothing like a team to support you doing it too, and knowing you're not alone. I think that was another big piece of feedback we've gotten from our tribe, is that people just don't feel alone doing it. So thank you for the questions, for the comments. If you want to use your FSA or HSA, just email us and we can set up a different pay process for that. And because it's Veterans Day coming up, with the Pay It Forward, if you have a veteran in mind, or you have a fellow veteran in mind that you'd like to pay for going through this, so you guys could go through it together, even better. If you don't have a veteran in mind, you just have a loved one, great. There's nothing like doing something together with a loved one. We have a comment. Pain is
while you're reading that.
Yeah, go ahead.
While you're reading that, I'll just mention, kind of echo what you just said there. We've had several couples go through this together, and as they've been going through together, they've actually experienced a further bonding in their relationship. So we're not going to say that we're a dating or a relationship platform, but it helps. It can help by practicing meditation and living mindfully, and then improving your movement and mobility. It could potentially help your relationship. So there you go.
Well, yeah, dating as in yes, we've had people develop friendships, their relationships with their significant other. Yes. I don't know if someone's found love from someone else yet, but we'll see. Maybe
I'm sure with time.
Can hurt. Yeah. I tend to be a connector. Hey, I set my brother and my sister-in-law up. So anyway, enough about that. Move over, Bumble. Here we come. Glad to see. So yes, emotional pain, physical pain go hand in hand, truly. And I get that from my own personal injuries I've had. And I'm sure John can relate to that too. They do go together. And as a PT, when people come to me, there is a vulnerability and an emotional piece to it that, again, years ago, I felt like I was missing. I wanted to be able to provide that emotional piece. And that's why we tie in mindfulness to movement. Thank you all for your comments. Appreciate it. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Suzanne. Thanks for everyone for being on. I think we are at time to honor your time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and feel free to email if you have any more questions. We're here. We're all over the internet. We're here in Durango and Colorado Springs. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, John.
Bye-bye.
Bye.